All right, so where are you guys situated right now? Because it's like you're with the Fabulous Pontoona Brothers. Oh,
With the Fabulous Pontoona Brothers at Trillium House Studio in St. John, New Brunswick. And we have a Malcolm. I don't know if you do much on the technical side of things, but we have a Malcolm Toft recording console here that was owned by Radiohead at one point. They did the first two albums on it. And so the boys are in the studio with me, and we're kind of grinding out the songs, the bed tracks for the songs. Yeah.
excellent. So it was like that. You guys recording in a big studio with big mixing board. So that's pretty impressive for 2025.
It's crazy how much stuff we do in the box these days, you know. I mean, for all the analog equipment that you see in the picture here, we've got, I've got probably 2,000 different versions of that in the box in the computer. So lots of flexibility.
It's like that. You as a being an engineer, you've worked like with Haywire, on their biggest album, and right.
Yeah, worked with Haywire. I was at a place called Le Studio on Marne Heights, Quebec for the later part of the 80s. And I was hired by a guy named Andre Perry to work there. And Andre was famous for recording Give Peace a Chance for John Lennon. And Le Studio became one of the biggest studios in the world through the late 70s into the early 90s. And that's where I worked with people like Keith Richards and Queensryche and Men Without Hats, Glass Tiger, you name it. Those all the big bands were coming through at the time. I've engineered for about 40 years. I started around 1984 and cut my teeth in Toronto working with bands like Robert Palmer, Anne Murray, The Kings, lots of well-known Toronto bands.
And always keeping busy, I see, because right now you're still in the studio, never ends.
I just can't leave. They won't let me go.
So it's like that. How is it recording with the Fabulous Pontoona Brothers?
It's fabulous. No, it's great.
Certainly when the bands are behind you, yeah.
Yeah, I have to say that. Yeah, no, it's great. It's a really super creative project because I don't know if you know this, but Dana's written about 700 pages, is it? So a lot of the songs are based on this fictional piece that he's written, and the Fabulous Pontoona Brothers are part of that story. So it's really interesting. It'll be I think it would probably be reminiscent of maybe working with Alice Cooper or somebody like that back in the day because there were no rules when those albums were being made. You know, he was truly original, and he had some very unique songs and perspectives. And I think that's one of the strengths that these guys have. You know.
I find that there's lots of what you're saying, like the Alice Cooper like storylines and stuff missing in a lot of these bands now. And yeah, like Silky's Dead, it seems to be grabbing something that we haven't seen in a long time.
Yeah, there's a raw kind of expression to it that we're kind of losing, you know, in music. I mean, it's so easy with technology. Like I said, when you're working inside of the box and you're on a grid and you're working to a click track, you can squeeze out a lot of the feel in a piece of music. And I think sadly there's quite a bit of that missing from today's recordings. Obviously I've been in the business a long time, so yeah, I'm very passionate about people playing real music.
And today with the AI, everybody's writing their own songs, it seems.
Oh, geez, you can write a song in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, they say that 25% of what we hear on the radio today is actually AI generated, which is crazy. A lot of the back catalog stuff that the majors are doing, it's all, a lot of it is cheaper for them to create that way.
Oh, you're seeing it, guaranteed, because the content is just keeps on coming quickly, and that's part of the
Absolutely.
thing that I'm seeing out of it. Yeah.
And if you own a massive catalog like that, you really have nothing to lose by telling AI, say if you have Elton John and I'll just throw out a name, Dua Lipa, and you say, okay, I want the next hit song by Elton John and Dua Lipa to sound like this, done in this style. Um, it's a no-brainer that you're gonna get another version of Elton John with a different vocals as a duet. And yeah, that's what we're being fed. I mean,
Now,
not taken away from those original artists and where they started, but yeah.
now let's say, how is it working with the Fabulous Pontoona Brothers? Is like you guys got a schedule. You guys wake up in the morning, go into work, and it's like at the end of the night. Well, I'm coming back the next day, just like clocking in.
Yeah, it's not quite rock and roll like it was in the 80s, where I find myself working through the night, you know. We'd be going into the studio in the late afternoon and quite often not coming out until 10 a.m. the next morning. But now we kind of work 9 to 5, 8 to 10 hour days. And it's more of a traditional session the way it used to be. It's almost like we're recording to tape. So we're trying to get the playing right. We're trying to get the musicality right, and the band are working out all the parts in the studio. So yeah,
And Paul, yourself, how busy are you? Let's say in your career.
I'm very busy. I mean, my passion's always been developing new artists. I find it, I've done a lot of work with major labels and major independent labels, but I'm very passionate about developing new things. I like hearing something before anybody else, and then the next time you hear it, it's on the radio or something's happening with the band. So I've always been passionate about helping bands make that step from the first recordings, the early recordings, and then moving forward with the careers, trying to get them started. I find it very easy to work with bands that are established because they already know what sells. They know what kind of a song they write and what the strengths and weaknesses are. And they show up at the studio, they already have a developed sound. I'm kind of more into crafting something that's unique.
Good. Well, Paul, thank you very much.
Oh,
So
you're welcome.
that's very good stuff you've been mentioning. And
Yeah, no, you're welcome.
uh,
I should just mention before before I jump off that we actually started a program, myself and my partner. It's called mymusic.biz, and it's an online application that can help bands manage their early careers, or even if they're established and they don't have management but need help. We actually offer that service now digitally. We call it a virtual manager.
okay.
So it's a lot cheaper than giving 20% to a manager and hoping that it works out.
Always hoping. Also,
Yeah.
the word.
Do you want to hand over to the guys?
Yeah, let's go with the guys now.